A wise woman once said, "Why are you so obsessed with me?" A sentiment that perfectly builds the atmosphere for this Degrassi deep dive on intense friendships. Intense friendships in this video are defined as relationships between two characters that blur the emotional lines of support and unhealthy attachment, oftentimes leading to irreversible changes to the relationship. In this video, we are going to be looking at 3 types of intense friendships by examining a handful of some of Degrassi's most iconic pairings. These friendships can range from the risky friend paired with the more reserved, friendships with a domineering or critical energy paired with a mutable or even easily malleable energy, but most often, these relationships can take the form of an emotional savior paired with an emotional dependent. These kinds of friendships challenge emotional enmeshment, distort boundaries, and deepen internal complexes that typically surface in early young adulthood. But at their source, these connections are usually derived from deep karmic emotional wounds, those that bring out our most vulnerable traits and test our ability to confront our true selves.
You don't want to be friends.
Not with a stuck-up prude princess.
Good, because I don't want to be friends with the schools.
This is Channeling Chinez. Before we get into this video, I just want to give a big shout out to everyone who has been watching my Black Degrassi video. Thank you so much for all the love you've shown me on that content and subsequently some of my other Degrassi videos. We are in YouTube partner territory and I'm super excited to bring more Degrassi content, Avatar content, and just really anything else on this platform designed to help us re-examine our lives and find ways to grow more effectively and show ourselves more personal love during our life paths. So thank you so much for watching these videos and let's get right into it. Adolescence and teenhood is a potent breeding ground for emotional enmeshment. With little understanding of our emotions, we cling to things that feel validating and safe. For many people, this solace is found in our first close friendship, the best friend, the one that is always showing up, always including us, and always interested in who we are. This experience alone is extremely valuable, as most of us crave this level of validation outside of our family unit.
What do you think? I think that you should zip your jacket back up.
Most importantly, this is an introduction to love. While we don't typically associate true love with friendship, many of our best friends are oftentimes embodied soulmates, and with that, they possess the capacity to deepen emotional bonds and shatter hearts just as any romantic relationship might. However, being enmeshed in someone's life is typically one of our first introductions into attachment styles and internal blockages. Particularly as a young person, we are internally grappling with finding ourselves, love and recognition, and managing boundaries set by parents, guardians, and the world.
Just tell your mom I'm not sleeping over. I'll figure the rest out later.
When we begin to struggle to emotionally separate from our friends' decisions, we've officially entered enmeshment territory. Things can start off well-meaning.
The I hate Johnny routine again? I don't hate Johnny. I don't think he's nice to you. That's different. You just don't know him like I do.
Oh, no, I know. He sent naked photos of you to Bruce, remember?
You guys look so happy, though. I know.
You're ridiculous. Why are you doing this to yourself?
Ever think that maybe he's sorry? I mean, he gave the phone back, remember? Jenna understands.
You don't want to see this friend make bad choices or do things they might regret. Internally, it may even frighten us at how differently our friends might behave in comparison to ourselves. This is an important realization, as what typically bonds two friends together is the idea of some level of sameness. While you can identify artificial differences, there is always some thread of similarity that bonds two individuals. For Alli and Clare, it's the experience of being sheltered. For Spike and Liz, it's the experience of being othered. For Emma and Manny, it's the experience of being boy crazy. But when differences between friends begin to surface, which is a byproduct of energy manifesting differently in each person, certain emotional constraints can create tension in the relationship. When one friend embodies a willingness to take chances or even questionable risks, Their counterpart may find themselves more reserved in their approach and may begin to internalize these subtle differences.
What's happening? Why are you trying to be someone else? Because I'm boring. You're growing up and I'm just watching.
Sorry, Claire. But it's okay to feel bad.
Much of this internalization stems from fear. Fear for your friend's well-being, or even fear for the future of your relationship with them. We see this take place in the friendship of Alli and Clare. Early on, Alli was willing to take risks Clare couldn't fathom for herself. As a result, Clare's cautionary quips were often perceived as judgmental or even insensitive toward Alli.
Claire, it's normal to think about sex. Jeez.
For you, maybe, but eventually I'm gonna do something I'll regret, like you did with Johnny.
So judgy Claire is back, huh?
You say judgy, I say principal.
However, Alli's dismissive, risk-taking mentality could seem to minimize the concerns of those who genuinely cared for her.
It's a one-way street with you, and I'm sick of it.
Excuse me?
You made your own life a living hell. Drew didn't force you to date Johnny, or to sext, or to lead your sex-crazed double life. That was you.
And also could come off as all-consuming, leaving very little space in the friendship for the needs of Clare.
He's just so... you know? I get it, Claire, you're in love with Eli. But can we talk about something more important here? Like how I can get Drew's attention?
While neither friend is completely right or wrong, we see that Clare's emotional experience of Alli could at times cause her to feel shut out.
Do you know what Claire would say if she knew? Promise not to tell her.
I promise.
Are you getting Johnny back?
You wouldn't understand, Claire.
While Alli's emotional experience of Clare unintentionally created a lack of safety for Alli. It's at this juncture where friendships typically make permanent changes and pathways may diverge, as we see with Clare and Alli.
Come on, do your Claire thing, tell me everything I don't want to hear.
No way. You always get mad when I do that.
The ultimate test in friendships like these can be when the roles actually reverse. When the more reserved friend begins throwing caution to the wind, while the riskier friend starts making more conscious decisions. Each party may struggle to support each other in this new dynamic. For Alli and Clare, this resulted in Clare becoming emotionally entitled within her friendship, and Alli walking on eggshells around Clare's needs.
At least your mom isn't marrying his dad. Bigger problems right here.
Yeah. I'm sorry my problems are so insignificant, Claire.
Dave cheated on me. He had sex with another girl and you called my problem pedestrian. And now the only reason you're even apologizing is because you need help with the newspaper.
That's not true, Alli.
But you were so self-obsessed you never realized your best friend needed you.
This also resulted in each party finding more balanced friendships with other people. For Alli, it was her friendship with Jenna, and for Clare, it was Adam. Claire's relationship with Adam helped her find comfort in being able to be emotionally expressive without her friend shutting down emotionally or feeling judged. Alli was able to come into balance on her own accord and formed a mutually beneficial friendship with Jenna, someone who understood making mistakes and needing time to process what those mistakes really mean. Similarly, we saw many instances of the same dynamic between Manny and Emma, a friendship duo that will appear in all three of these intense friendship categories. I'm curious to know in the comments what you think that says about Manny and Emma's friendship. Emma struggled often to separate emotionally from Manny's decisions.
Anyway, I was just thinking cheerleading might be fun. Fun? Manny, you're not thinking of...
She's driving me to the clinic.
You can't.
Look, I know you think it's wrong.
And your child would too.
From her decision to terminate her pregnancy to her pursuit of romantic relationships and the collateral damage that came with every fallout.
How could you do that to GT?
What? I didn't do anything.
You just broke his heart.
Emma, come on.
You're getting this huge ego.
Chris has a girlfriend, remember?
I gotta go.
Yeah, I think you'd better.
We would see that Emma's inability to separate from the actions and emotions of others would become so severe that it would escalate through systems of control for herself and for others. More on that later. What's most interesting about this dynamic is both Emma and Manny have the propensity to take risks. And while Manny would allow Emma to make her own choices and support her in the aftermath, she was seldom met with that same respect.
About meeting strangers on the net? Being dangerous? Manny, I can take care of myself.
I am not going to shut up.
Emma would rarely see that her own risk-taking was no different than Manny's and latched on to Manny's choices even more tightly than her own. Another relationship where we see this become a challenge is between the sisterhood of Heather and Erica of classic Degrassi. We saw this a lot when it came to dating.
Gross. Would you really French kiss a guy? Of course. It's romantic. You always have so many reasons for not having fun. I'm just responsible, that's all. And you should start being more responsible too.
While Erica was more interested in taking risks, Heather was cautious and at times overly judgmental about romantic experimentation. When Erica became pregnant and subsequently made the decision to not go through with it, the emotional impact this had on Heather even caused her to have nightmares, unable to bear her own involvement in a decision she did not agree with.
You're gonna do it again, aren't you? Just like the summer. What are you talking about? You don't care what happens. You don't care what you did. You don't care how I feel.
We saw Heather attempt to control Erica's decisions thereafter, leading them further into enmeshment territory. And while these two are twins, not just best friends, the closeness that they felt for one another and the challenge the relationship presented still suggests deep karmic lessons that both individuals were left to unpack. In these dynamics, individuals who identify with the risk taker may begin to feel smothered by realities they may not be ready to process, while the reserved friend may feel limited in their ability to communicate honestly with that friend or those around them. The karmic lesson in these kinds of friendships is to learn how to honor your truth, not shrink yourself for the comfort of your friend, and find the ability, if you can, to balance your personal beliefs and that of your friends without the need for them being the same. In intense friendships, boundaries can become distorted when one party attempts to exert control over their friends' ideas, decisions, and actions. We see this most often when the critical befriends the malleable. One of the most recognizable friendships with this dynamic was that of Holly J and Anya. However, the necessity for Holly J to control Anya wasn't just because she was permissive. It was also due in large part to Holly J's personal hypercritical inner dialogue.
I'm always my sister's shadow. And sometimes I feel like I'm a failure.
The critical friend, and in this case Holly J, can at times inflate the restrictions they place on themselves and project those onto a friend who is more easily manipulated.
Come on, Anya, clap it out. You've only read the chapter 10 times.
Hey, just let her finish, okay?
With her dyslexia, we'll be here until Labor Day.
However, Anya's propensity to be manipulated was more closely attributed to her need to be perceived as agreeable from those whose opinions she respected or from those whose adoration she desired. We saw this play out with her relationship with Holly J and Sav.
I don't tell people that your parents got you a private tutor.
Hey, Rochelle, you wanna have lunch? You need to break free of her.
So I'm free to be alone, like you.
The malleable friend must learn not to shrink themselves, but they also have to learn to assert their own judgments. What the critical friend perceives as a misstep does not have to be the same for the malleable friend. And owning that autonomy is critical in setting boundaries in this kind of relationship.
I didn't know you felt bad.
Well, I do. All the time, and it's because of you. Why do you hate me so much?
I don't. You're my best friend.
Then why do you treat me like dirt?
Because you let me.
And true to form, the critical friend usually needs to be put in their place. They need to become aware of how their treatment impacts others, as well as feel the sting of judgment they have been avoiding by controlling their counterpart.
You only make messes of lives, and yesterday is the last time I'll ever let you make a mess of mine. You almost broke me and Sav up. Why would you do that?
You do not want Holly J. St. Clair as an enemy.
Well, she certainly hasn't been a friend.
Okay, without you, I have no friends, you know that.
You did this to yourself.
The energy of control in Emma and Manny's relationship was palpable from the beginning. There are far too many instances of Emma stalking in hallway doorways, watching and scrutinizing Manny's decisions. And while I wish that was hyperbole, it's actually scarily accurate.
You know, if you're sick, you can't compete. Okay. Coach should know.
Paige, Hazel, Are you gonna do your colors together
Come on, Emma. They're the coolest kids in school.
Because of Emma's inability to separate her emotions from the decisions of those she loved, Emma found ways to pass judgment on Manny's personal interests and independent thoughts, even as far as her decision to reconnect with her own parents.
What's she doing here?
She's just here to talk. Don't be mad, Em, but I think it's time for me to go home.
Nice, Emma. So I'm a bimbo too. I want to become a cheerleader, that's all.
Please. What does defeating Lakehurst prove exactly?
That we're better than them?
A primary example of this dynamic playing out between these two is when Emma attempts to control Manny's body by forcing her into an ED.
We are going to take control. I am going to take control.
We could get rid of it.
Like how? Puking? Isn't that kind of extreme?
We'll feel better, Manny. Come on. Come on.
My jeans still fit, General.
Manny, your body is a reflection of you.
Change in these kinds of connections is only visible when Manny takes back her autonomy over her body and realizes for herself that Emma is projecting onto her and sets a firm boundary.
This is so typical Manny. Give up when the going gets tough.
It's one slice of pizza, Em.
Why not just pour poison down your throat?
Okay, there's just a little too much crazy in here.
While these two examples are about fear of judgment and hypercritical inner worlds, we also see these types of friendships become toxic when the exertion of control moves away from projected self-judgment and into the realm of pure jealousy. Tristian and Maya have one of the worst friendship dynamics in Degrassi history. Both parties traded places with being controlling, but only Maya was successfully controlled by Tristian. However, it's what drives Tristian's controlling behavior that highlights him as a toxic friend.
No boys for you. Tori's family moved away, so now you're my best friend. I'm making her my new BFF.
Thought I was your new BFF.
Tris, you're leaving me out here?
I can't let Zoe go in alone.
Tristian wasn't worried about Maya's safety like Clare was. He wasn't battling his own internal demons like Holly J or Emma. Well, maybe he was. But in my opinion, Tristian was simply just jealous and, quite frankly, narcissistic. When Maya and Tristian returned for sophomore year, he literally tells Maya that since Tori had moved away, she was his new best friend now, already labeling her as a defaulted choice, then instantly drops her for Zoe and the allure of climbing the social ladder.
I have free tickets to the Summerfest concert tonight. Want to go?
What about your super early curfew?
Curfew? What curfew?
I can't believe it. I'm backstage at a rock concert with Zoe Rivas.
I am the one that got you backstage, you know.
And despite the fact that Maya saw Miles first, met Miles first.
I'm Miles. Hollingsworth.
Matlin. Maya Matlin.
Befriended Miles first, Tristian still attempted to control Miles' relationship with Miles out of pure jealousy.
We have to stick together. Promise me? Promise?
I promise. Yesterday, Miles was enemy numero uno, and now you guys are best friends?
And hopefully soon, BFs. As in boyfriends, romantic partners. No boys for you. No boys for you. No boys for you. Maya's always got some poor dude on the hook.
She's one of those girls?
Oh, she totally is. Last year, she had 2 guys fight over her. What happened?
Nothing.
But would have never given her the same courtesy. Unfortunately, due to compounded traumatic events, Maya's empathy and desire to serve her friend's best interests triggered issues of fear, anxiety, and control. Deep shadow elements she had been repressing, likely since her sister went to rehab and the tragic loss of her first boyfriend. It's these kinds of relationships where one must choose themselves over the preservation of the friendship. That's not to say that the friendship must be severed forever, but it's these kinds of toxic friendships where space is needed to establish oneself individually before considering coming back to the connection. While editing this video, I thought it important to add that the element of betrayal is often a telltale sign of controlling behavior being driven by jealousy. We saw this play out in the friendships of all 3 of our examples. As we've just noted, Tristian was willing to betray Maya for Zoe and Miles, but demanded Maya's obedience.
You spend summer together after all.
Well, I'm spending with my best friend, not you.
Holly J purposely sabotaged Anya's event and relationship while also having a secret attraction for Sav.
You've got a fire inside.
No wonder Anya's head over heels for you.
We saw Emma quickly betray Manny for the attention of a random girl at a party because she thought it might make her more appealing to Peter, the same kid who wanted Manny instead.
Peter invited her. He does go for girls like that.
Too often, betrayal precedes the downfall of these dynamics due to one friend believing they deserve more than the friend they subconsciously see as lesser. A friendship cognitive dissonance.
You have everything going for you, and you just keep screwing it up pretty spectacularly.
I hate her. I hate Holly J.
Join the club. We used to be best friends.
You ruined my life.
Yeah, well, it might feel like that right now, but I did all this to protect you.
No, I don't need protecting. You have a million guys in love with you and a perfect home, and I just wanted one good thing.
After Anya took a stand against Holly J's control, they were never quite that close again. Anya even refers to Holly J as her ex-best friend, likely claiming Mia, Riley, or Leia as her new best friend. Holly J moves on to a friendship with Fiona, which we will chat about more in the next segment. Maya and Tristian barely recover their relationship and are only seen reconnecting after Tristian emerges from a coma. But what I find most interesting is that although this dynamic of control plays out between Manny and Emma, we see them waver in and out of closeness with one another on several different occasions, but we never see them fully cut ties with one another. And this is for a very specific reason. One of the unique things about Degrassi is getting to see the background of many of the main characters that add context to their emotional attachment style. Emma Nelson has to be one of the best examples of this. Degrassi Junior High through Next Generation shows us how she was conceived, and with those conditions, how her adolescence and her relationship with her parents shaped her life. As mentioned in a video about Emma and Sean versus Emma and Spinner, I touched on Emma's deep desire for control and its roots stemming from how out of control Spike felt throughout her pregnancy with Emma. If you haven't seen that video, check out my Degrassi playlist. I would even go as far as saying that Emma was embedded with a deep desire for control while in the womb of a 14-year-old Spike, who felt completely out of control of her pregnancy and her circumstances.
Emma, I wish I'd never had her. How do you know how I feel? Do you think I like having everybody read about me?
I just wish I knew how it was going to turn out. I hate not knowing what's going to happen.
However, it's important to note that Emma's need for control was deeply connected to a savior complex, an energy where one may seek to be the ultimate corrector of wrongdoings, feeling constantly emboldened to save individuals who they view as helpless or with whom they have some sort of connection with. In large part, this has to do with self-worth. But where would Emma have learned this? A young Christine, or Spike, wanted nothing more than to be rescued from her preteen pregnancy.
Sorry you got pregnant, okay? It was an accident. Why can't we be friends like before?
I wasn't pregnant before.
She couldn't escape the questioning, she couldn't escape the judgment, and she couldn't escape the responsibility. Marinating in this energy, in my spiritual opinion, had to have made significant impacts on Emma's nervous system.
You think people won't talk when I get bigger and bigger?
I can't tell them.
That's the difference between you and me. You've got a choice. You can go home and pretend nothing is happening.
If Emma could control outcomes, she could save. If Emma could control emotions, she could save. Two things that her mother had absolutely no control of: outcomes and emotions. This is a key component in tying Emma's self-worth development to her ability to save others. Spike would experience her first savior-dependent dynamic in high school with her friend Liz. Now, you might be wondering, who is the savior and who is the dependent when it comes to Liz and Spike? Is Liz the savior, acting as a shield and emotional filter for Spike?
Forget about him.
No, I was thinking I should talk to him.
You're just wasting your time.
Why?
Why don't you just forget about him?
No, I'm gonna talk to him.
You're making a mistake.
Coordinating her romantic relationships, projecting her ideals on others.
Remember that girl that I stroked this summer? Yeah. The only reason I stroked was because medication is how you do it.
This is my business.
Right. So you're God and you know everything?
Must be so nice having a song written specially for you.
I guess. I don't want to talk to him.
Why? What's he done?
Nothing.
Okay. I just thought we were friends, that's all.
Or was Liz the dependent, seemingly living vicariously through Spike?
Patrick asked me to go see a band with him tonight at Lee's Palace.
Patrick?
Oh, you know Patrick. Always a gentleman.
Did he kiss you goodnight?
Was Spike the savior, seeing Liz as the fragile and deeply lonely soul that she really was? Or was she the dependent, oftentimes needing Liz to push her to try new things and experiences?
Do you think I wouldn't be hurt if you decided you didn't like me anymore?
Liz told you.
The truth is, Spike became trapped in a state of dependency at the inception of her pregnancy. From that moment forward, everything she wanted for herself was dependent on a third party and one major factor: Emma. Whether or not Spike could finish school with her peers was dependent on the opinions of the school board because of Emma. Whether or not Spike could continue her education was dependent on whether or not she could maintain childcare with another mom or hold down a part-time job for Emma. And because Spike's experience was a generational curse, as having been a product of teen motherhood herself, her own support system could only provide her with the basics of what she needed while being excluded from additional support, like the help of Shane or his family. This desire to be saved from this experience manifested in her relationship with Liz, but also through Emma. We see evidence of this stunting in adulthood when Spike discovers she's pregnant right before she's about to marry Snake. Spike defaults to a 13-year-old Emma in her adult decision-making.
If I even have this baby, you're not thinking of having. I might.
As Emma had always intuitively picked up on the need for her mother to be saved. This was even critiqued by Archie in the show. Spike's dependency is highlighted by her struggle to make decisions when a person she loves may not agree with them.
We don't want any more kids right now. End of story.
However, Liz's desire to save Spike stemmed from her experience with childhood SA, being unable to save herself and almost living vicariously through Spike's decision to keep her child, a mirrored experience of her and her own mothering.
When my mom was pregnant with me, my dad didn't want her to have a kid. I suppose if she had, I wouldn't be alive right now.
As the show persists, we see Emma take on the role of savior for herself, for her mother, for her mother's marriage, for Sean, environmental causes, and of course, Manny. Manny presented as dependent at times. Without the support of her strict parents, she needed the Nelson household as refuge, which only further exasperated Emma's anxiety, need for control, and codependency. We also saw this savior-dependent complex play out with Holly J and Fiona. Fiona, having been severely dependent on her twin, Declan, her mother, and even substances, dominated the energy of her friendship with Holly J out of a constant need to be saved from herself.
So you've been excluding me ever since we got here? You're all I have, Declan!
I can't be Fiona!
You spent all that money to avoid being alone?
Champagne eyes. You were drunk at your deposition? I'm sorry, I was too busy to hang out on the weekend. Do you want to work on this together?
No, I don't need you anymore.
Why are you acting so wiggy?
While for the first time, Holly J experienced a friendship wherein she did not have the upper hand and didn't fight for it. Having seemingly grown from her friendship fallout with Anya, Holly J learned to truly empathize with her friend's experience, even if it wasn't what that person wanted for themselves. However, this dynamic became so burdensome that when Holly J needed to have her own moment of weakness, she was met with an implosion and a very much what about me energy from Fiona.
Great. You'll go to Yale next year and live happily ever after.
Can't believe how self-absorbed you're being right now.
I had my heart broken last night. I don't have a date to prom, and I'm gonna be all alone next year.
One of the most memorable relationships with this dynamic had to be the friendship of Ellie and Marco. Ellie's savior complex should come as no surprise. Having been a child of an addict, Ellie literally had to drag her mother out of a burning home. This has a lot to do with why she struggled to face her father in Degrassi Takes Hollywood, by the way, because she couldn't fix the outcomes of his injuries.
You're welcome. But I can't pretend forever.
I love you.
I love you too.
Well, when are you coming back? I've always been able to fix things. My mom. And then you. My dad watched his soldiers die. I know I can't fix that.
Marco was a prime dependent who openly struggled to self-regulate his own emotions without the approval of others. From the approval of Paige or Ellie or Dylan to the approval of his parents, particularly his father, and virtually almost everyone in his life.
God, poor you. Between my job and everyone else's love lives.
It's cool. What's this all about? It's about building a relationship.
It's not a relationship, Marco. You're just my roommate.
Let's get our dream two-bedroom. We'll live on rabbit food to afford it.
So while the friendship between Ellie and Marco is endearing and a beautiful story about the ways in which love can take on many different forms with two open hearts, that almost sounds like a great video. Let me know in the comments if that interests you. Marco and Ellie's friendship is also very karmic, in that they would eventually be forced to face the dysfunction of this dynamic and the ways in which it's harming them emotionally. In each of these connections, there was only one solution: strict boundaries. We saw Spike set emotional boundaries with Liz on multiple occasions, especially around her personal opinions. Manny set boundaries with Emma by choosing her passionate pursuits over Emma's comfort most of the time. Holly J set boundaries with Fiona by expressing how she wants to be shown up for, even if she's normally the strength.
Smoothie isn't gonna make everything all better. And frankly, I'm tired of fixing everyone else's problems.
And Ellie set boundaries when she decided that her and Marco should live separately.
We're totally dependent on each other, Elle. For everything. Even for intimacy. It's hurting us. It's hurting our real relationship.
And I guess we're moving out.
What's beautiful about these friendships is that many of them stay intact over time. It's not the existence of tension that breaks the friendship, but the decision to grow emotionally that makes the friendship, to give space when necessary, and to learn how to respect boundaries and autonomy, both internally and the ways in which we interact with our friends, that builds relationships that are long-lasting, life-altering, and energetically sustainable. Thank you so much for watching Channeling Chinez. You can connect with me on the community page weekly. I love hearing from all of you, and I will try to reply to as many comments on here as possible. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Official Chinez for hot takes. You can also subscribe to my tarot channel, Chinez Tarot, if you want to expand more in your spiritual work. You can also book a personal tarot reading with me if you want personal one-on-one spiritual work at officialchinez.com/booktarot. And if you just want to start thinking and looking at life a little differently, check out the articles on my Substack, Static and Ripples at Official Chinez on Substack. Don't forget to like this video if you want more content like this, as it helps me greatly in the algorithm, and I will see you in the next episode.